my name is Danielle Henrici, and I am the founding co-artistic director of Glimmer Globe Theatre. This is the third installment of Shakespeare in Action, our educational series on understanding and acting Shakespeare. I'm calling this lesson, How to Use the Language and Make It Active. There are a lot of words in Shakespeare. That's a fact. Here's another fact. You can say words until you're blue in the face, but they won't mean anything until you attach meaning and intention to them. You have already translated the script. If you use the worksheet we provided in Lesson 2 as an example, you have a roadmap of your character's thoughts, feelings, and actions. Now it's time to tackle that monologue, knock it around, and put it on its feet. These are some of my favorite rehearsal techniques for teasing apart what can seem like an ocean of lines and getting them all to make perfect sense. Without memorizing and without reading, say it in your own words, contemporary style. If you have to be still to think first, fine. But then pace, sit primly, stand on your head, whatever the moment calls for. If you find it difficult, go back to the text and make sure you understand what you're supposed to be saying. Choose the word in each line that you feel best conveys the meaning. Don't spend a lot of time picking it out. Just go with your gut. Say it loud on your feet in front of a mirror. See how the meaning changes depending on how you say it. String all the important words together and speak them. This helps you distill the monologue down to its most basic meaning. Try performing the monologue like a silent movie actor with facial expression and movement only. If you have a trusted, non-judgy friend around, do it for them and see if you can convey the character's emotional arc in the monologue, even if fine plot points are lost in the silence. Another way to do this is to choose a verb, like beg, borrow, or steal, that describes your character's immediate aim for each separate thought, and then perform a movement or gesture that represents that specific action. String those together in sequence, almost like a dance, and you'll have choreographed your monologue. One important tip, trim the fat. Use movement necessary to convey the meaning only. Young actors, and I mean young in terms of experience, not age, they tend to have a lot of accessory movements, generally nervous tics like twiddling your thumbs, shifting your weight back and forth on your feet. Those just muddy the waters between the actor and the character, diluting the critical motion. Do whatever makes the point and represents your character's inner life as well as his or her general behaviors, not your own. Leave out the rest. Know to or with whom you are speaking. It makes a big difference in tone. Think about it. You speak differently to your father than you do to your boyfriend or girlfriend. At least, I hope so. Out loud and on your feet, try saying your monologue to different characters in the play and see how that changes your delivery. The audience is also a character in the play, the not always so silent observer. If your character is speaking directly to the audience, understand your character's relationship to the audience. What does the audience represent to your character? Conscience, friend, foe, the ghost of lost love. After you practice saying it to other characters and the audience, make sure you take it home by directing the monologue to its intended. It can get confusing if you're talking to several different people. To eliminate that confusion, if you are rehearsing by yourself, choose different spots in the room to represent where each of the other characters are standing. During the monologue, point at the character to whom you are speaking to make it clear for yourself. Bottom line, you have to know who you're talking to in order to properly convey the meaning of the moment and of the text. Aside from understanding the story overall, know what just happened and understand what was just said to you. This will and must affect your reaction and delivery. In an exchange of dialogue, listen closely to what is being said to you. Choose the word said to you that affects you the most. Say it aloud before you say your line. Repeat this exercise through the scene. Even better if you can actually do it with your scene partner. Then you're both listening and reacting, repeating the word your partner said that affected you most before you say your own line.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
Nobody. What, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Disdain. Is it possible Disdain should die while she hath such meat food defeated as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Presence. Then courtesy is a turncoat. But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
Hard.
A dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor.
I thank God and my cold blood I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
Swear. God keep your ladyship in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall escape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratched. Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours were.
Yours. Well, you are a rare parrot, teacher.
Parrot?
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
Beast. I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer. But keep your way of God's name, I have done.
Done. You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
If you have a partner around, try this activity. Deliver a line from your monologue. Your partner should react by saying either yes or no in a tone appropriate to the circumstances. This simple word will give you something to react off of on your next line. If you feel comfortable in your grasp of the scene, get more specific by choosing a word that has meaning to the moment. For instance, your partner might whisper "murderer" after each of your lines if you're working on Macbeth's banquet monologue.
Blood hath been shed ere now.
Murderer.
In the olden time ere humane statute purged the gentle wheel.
Murderer.
Aye, and since too murders have been performed too terrible for the ear.
Murderer.
The time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die and there an end.
Murderer.
But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from our stools.
Murderer.
This is more strange than such a murder is.
Murderer.
I always like to have students name the emotion they're feeling after each line without breaking the emotional state. Happy, sad, impatient, frightened, etc. It really helps bring it home. If you name the emotion and realize you didn't convey it on the line itself, repeat the line. Repeat it until the emotion is there. You can do the same exercise with an active verb. Deliver the line, immediately followed by naming the verb that describes the character's aim. I like to conjugate the verb to make it even more active, almost as if it's a natural part of the line. Begging, loving. Make sure you're actively doing whatever it is you're saying. This technique will help you check yourself and find the intention of each moment, as well as how they all come together to express the arc of the monologue. Last thing, Most monologues or soliloquies can be broken into 3 parts. They're not always equal, but they're there. Hamlet starts out his Act 3, Scene 3 monologue inspired to kill Claudius immediately. He reconsiders when he realizes that his uncle is praying and will go to heaven. He resolves to bide his time and wait for a better opportunity. Try breaking monologues down into these 3 movements. It will help you further understand your character's development. And speaking of character development, we'll tackle that in our next installment. Until then, bonne chance!